Hello everybody, thank you so much for taking the opportunity to review this video. My name is John Hendrickson. I am the CEO of Frederick Living, and with me is Jeremy Kaufman, who is serving as our interim Vice President of Health and Wellness. We are very much masked and socially distanced and keeping the disinfectant going here on our campus. Jeremy and I are about 10 feet apart, and so for this part of the video, we're going to remove our masks to be able to be sure that we can be heard. Earlier this week, Frederick Living experienced for quite some time the first positive test of an employee. A little earlier today, we discovered that we have a second positive test of another employee. This is not to be misunderstood. It is a very serious issue for our country, a very serious issue in our county. And we can expect that we are going to be impacted on our campus as well. We are prepared in many ways, and yet the reality, when it hits, we have many processes we must put into place. Jeremy is with me today. Following this second event, we just had a conversation with our what's called a cell group. It's a group of leaders on campus to talk about implementing next steps in keeping with the agencies to whom we report, as well as our own internal infection control processes, and those are being initiated in light of this second positive test. As you will see on the website, we post information giving updates on these encounters and these positive test results, telling you that who the employee is in terms of where their workspace is, and then also a little bit about the steps that we take in terms of their self-isolation, they're not returning to work, and our concern for both them, the families, as well as our own residents and staff here on campus. So, Jeremy, earlier today with this discovery, you maneuvered and put together our team around processes. Those processes are guided by many different things of internal process as well as the agencies that we report to, the CDC, the Department of Health, CMS, and others that live into our experience. Can you tell us a little bit about what steps that we are taking at this point?
Sure. So the positive test earlier this week was much different than the one today, in the fact that this worker has more contact through the service that they provide and more direct contact with residents and other team members. And so that's one of the things that we really look for first is where does this person work and what kind of contact do they have with people. So in light of the fact that this person, and also what are those workspaces that they work in. So in this situation, the staff member works in dining, and they had worked in dining areas in both Cedarwood, our skilled nursing facility, as well as Magnolia, the personal care facility. And so in light of that, as we talked that through, thought about all those different rules and regulations and requirements, we will begin today testing all residents in Magnolia, all residents in Cedarwood, as well as all Frederick Living staff. The reason to test all Frederick Living staff is just the comings and goings of our staff. They come into the building, even if they work in other areas, they come into the building to clock in, to get a meal, things like that. And so we will just begin testing all of our staff. The requirement is that they will be tested by Friday of this week, and then we will do weekly testing for a period of time. The objective is through that weekly testing to try to stay ahead of and keep track of who might additionally be positive so that we can continue to put isolation procedures in place and really narrow the spread as much as we possibly can. There are some guidelines on how long we'd have to do that weekly testing based on the results that we get from that first week. So we can give future information related to that. We're telling our staff at this point, until further notice, they'll be expected to test on a weekly basis.
Thank you. And I know that early this week as well, folks know we're headed into holiday time, and this is an exciting time for families. It's an exciting time for our residents. It's a very busy time normally on our campus with a lot of decor, a lot of programming. This year, not so. We recently implemented some processes to increase the level of restrictions on our campus. again, to keep the flow. Could you talk a little bit about some of the steps that we're just taking on our campus with campus restrictions?
Yeah, sure. So one of the triggering factors for this week was just the positivity rate in our county, right? Obviously, there's different organizations that calculate things different ways, but we're seeing a positivity rate in Montgomery County of anywhere from 6.4 to 7.9%, depending on that methodology. And so in light of that and just the growing concern in the community and what we're hearing and seeing from other organizations that are in similar, providing similar services, we felt like it was important to start to scale back some of the things that we had opened up over the last number of weeks and months. And so to highlight a few of those, we're really going back to a closed campus. Visitation is ending at this point. We don't want family members and friends to come onto campus to be able to visit in the facilities or to visit in the homes. There are some exceptions to that, which we'd be happy to answer questions if there are particular situations that arise. So that means, for instance, that deliveries, package dropping off food or things like that, I think for residents are going to become a greater need for families and for friends of our residents. So we are going to begin to take packages again at the main Magnolia entrance in light of the fact that the campus is closed. On the website, you'll find more specific information about that. We were trying to limit the time frames at which those packages are delivered to help our staff so that we don't have to have an extra person out there in the entryway all the time. Throughout the week, Monday through Friday, there's 3 different time blocks. Saturday and Sunday, there's 1 time block for residents, families, and friends to drop off packages. So those are the 2 biggest ones that I would suggest probably impact families most immediately. As you talked about the holidays, though, we are strongly encouraging our residents to stay in their homes, not go visit family members in a setting where they might be unmasked, close together, eating meals, things like that. We are in certain settings on campus, if a family member were to take a resident out or to have a resident leave the campus and go to those settings, we would expect them to quarantine for 14 days when they come back. We recognize those things are really difficult to hear, right, going into the holidays, and we're certainly well aware of the impact that will have on families. But if people are paying attention to what's happening at other senior living communities, and just again with our heightened awareness today with a positive member of the staff that's had more interaction with fellow staff members and residents, I think these are the right things to do right now to make sure that over the course of the coming days and weeks we don't have spread across the campus.
Thank you. So we wanted to provide you a kind of a face-to-face update on what's happening at Frederick. We are pleased that you are able to watch this video. We will be doing this periodically to give an update, but when we're not on the video, we are giving updates, printed updates on the website. Please look at the website. In the meantime, you will see us put our masks back on. We are wearing masks on campus everywhere. In the meantime, we're also monitoring what's happening in our county and instituting the procedures here on campus to ultimately keep everyone safe. Happy holidays to you. Thank you for joining us.